12 and 10 assists and goals to his name. And talking of the 21-year-old, I am delighted to say we're joined by Bukayo Saka now pitch side at the Emirates. Bukayo, great to see you. I've got Emmanuel Petit and Michael Owen with me here in the studio. First of all, many congratulations on the win today. And what a way to go into the international break 8 clear at the top.
Yeah. Pleasure to speak to you guys. And yeah, thank you for congratulating us. We're really happy. You know, we've won 5 games in a row now, which is very difficult to do in this league. So yeah, we're really happy, especially with today. So
it seems like Arsenal are purring again, particularly of late. We saw that 45-minute display against Fulham, and across the 90 today, it's almost as if the time. What do you think?
Well, I couldn't really say the break come at the wrong time or the right time. You know, because we all go into our international countries and we're going to give our best because we've got some important games there. But I understand what you're saying. You know, we've built some good momentum and, we're winning games, playing really well. So, yeah.
Bukayo, it's Michael Owen here. Well played again today. I just wanted to pick your brains on that combination play that you've got down that right-hand side, because Ben White and yourself today seem to have so many intricate passing, so many phases of play together. It looks like you've got a real good thing going down that right-hand side.
Yeah, thank you. I believe we do. Ben White was incredible today, and he's been incredible all season, and we're building a great partnership, me, him and Martin on that right side. Of course, I'm not going to tell you the secrets, what we work on in the training ground, but yeah, I'm enjoying playing with them.
Hi, Bukayo, it's Emmanuel Petit. I just have one question, because you're playing game after game since the beginning of the season, all of you. Do you feel able to keep on doing what we're doing until the end? Because I can feel sometimes the tiredness.
Yeah, of course, we're humans, we get tired, and it's difficult sometimes, but, the prize at the end is definitely worth, giving everything, giving all our energy. And, today, sometimes you can feel and see, like you said, the tiredness in our bodies. Like the other night, we played 120 minutes and we have to come again 2 days later and play here. But, we have the belief and we have the desire that, we want to do this year, and yeah, nothing can stop us, especially not us being tired.
Good luck.
Bukayo, we just mentioned how you're the first Premier League player to hit double figures in assists and goals. If you don't mind, we're going to go through both your goals today. First of all, the one for 2-0, cutting in with a left-footed finish, which will come as a novelty to yourself, but took it like a true pro.
Yeah. I think before that I hadn't really had a shot on target and I was quite frustrated with myself, so I just wanted to get a shot away, and yeah, that first one I managed to do that and it was on target, it went in. The second one was a nice finish. I think that was a better goal, managed to keep it down, so yeah, I'm happy with both the goals and happy to help my team win the game. How
happy are you with your season so far? I mean, you must be anything, delighted springs to mind. How are you feeling?
To be fair,
you're allowed to big yourself up.
No. At the end of the season, if it makes a difference, and helps my team get over the line, then yeah, I'll be very happy. But I don't want it to all be for nothing. So yeah, I feel like we're playing well. The team's playing well, and we just want to continue like this.
And talk to us about the belief in the title race. How significant is this 8-point Manchester City?
Yeah, it is very significant. We know who they're playing next. We're not going to pretend that we don't know. So we know it's a tough game for them. And yeah, but at the same time, we're really focused on ourselves. We've got 10 finals to go. We're out of every other competition. It's only the Premier League. So yeah, that's the way we're treating it. 10 finals, every game. We prepare our best and we give everything on the pitch. And yeah, we see where that takes us.
You players surely must be talking about the title in the dressing room.
Well, everyone's talking about it everywhere we go, so we just have to stay focused and, yeah, try and just focus each game by game.
Brilliant stuff. Listen, enjoy the 2-week break. Of course, you've got England duties to pick up on, but when you resume, all the very best between then and the end of May. Great to talk to you.
Thank you. Great to talk to you as well.
Brilliant. Arsenal's wonderful young Manchester City. Of course. So 7 games played in this truncated match week, and this is how they unfolded. On Friday, Alexander Isak scored that injury-time penalty for Newcastle to see off Nottingham Forest and keep their top 4 hopes alive. Aston Villa's big win over Bournemouth was their 3rd victory in 4. Leicester ended their 5-game losing run in all competitions with a draw at Brentford. Southampton fighting back from 3-1 down to draw with Spurs, prompting quite an outburst from Spurs boss Antonio Conte. Leeds boosted their survival hopes thanks to only their 2nd away win of the season at Wolves. Everton's Ellis Sims scoring a late equaliser at Chelsea in their bid to stay up, and it finished Arsenal 4, Crystal Palace 1 at the Emirates. So the relegation battle goes on hold with the bottom 9 clubs separated by just 4 points. Crystal Palace are there in 27 points from 28 games, just 3 points above the bottom 3. And look at that for Arsenal fans watching all around the world. What a sight that is. An 8-point lead at the top. Even Manu's delighted. 69 points from 28 games played. Manchester City, of course, have got that 1 game in hand on the Gunners.
Congratulations, another 3 points to go 8 points clear at the top of the table. How happy are you with that performance and the perfect reaction after Thursday?
Very happy. We needed that win, and as I always say, we go to the games as a final, and we did it today.
6 goals for you in your last 6 league games. What a goal today, with your left foot as well. Talk me through that one.
Yeah, it was a good goal. Good pass from B. I don't know if he tried to play to me or someone else, but it was a good pass, and I just gave a touch and a good finish with my weak foot. Good goal.
Did you manage to pick yourself up after the disappointment in the penalty shootout on Thursday? How did you feel going into today's game?
Of course, it's life and it happens. It's not every game that you're going to score, and it's not every game you're going to play well, and it happens. And yeah, of course I was sad. I spent the whole night thinking about that penalty, but it's over. We cannot come back, and today we had a great game, and I scored, and we got the 3 points, the most important thing.
What a season you're having. What a season Bukayo's having. What makes you click? How much do you love playing with him?
A lot. He's a great guy. Not just him, but I think the whole team. We are a family, and Bukayo has been playing so well, and he's a brilliant player. And yeah, I just love to play with him.
The one negative today, obviously, the goal you conceded 5 goals from set pieces in your last 10 games. Is that something that does need to be addressed going forward?
Of course, we will rewatch the game and see what was our mistakes, and we will try to improve for the next games.
6 straight wins now in the league, 10 games to go. Just how tough is it going to be to stop Arsenal now? Is there any stopping Arsenal?
What I can say is that we go to every single game with the hunger to win them and try our best.
But a good feeling.
Yeah, very good feeling.
You know, to coin a phrase, bounce back ability, we've spoken about it a lot in football, but I suppose this encapsulates Arsenal's mental strength right now. There's an individual who missed a penalty, a crucial one, in a competition they wanted to win in midweek, but bounces back with a goal, and as if it never happened.
No, and on top of it, as I said, it's probably one of the youngest teams in the Premier League, so they handle the pressure so perfectly, and I can assure that they will do that until the end of the season. I'm not one of them that was saying actually that they will fail under the pressure. I'm pretty sure they will handle it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's have a look at that first goal, scored by Gabriel Martinelli. It was the quick nature with which he took it, right, that I suppose almost caught the goalkeeper unawares.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the finish was unbelievable. We'll have a look at the build-up play in a moment, but the finish was beautiful. I love the way he takes 2 quick touches in succession, and he's almost at full speed or within 2 or 3 strides. He's a very quick player, very explosive, and then a left-foot finish was a beauty as well. And as I say, we'll have a little bit a look at it in a little bit more detail, Manish. Crystal Palace will be disappointed because they gave the ball away twice in the build-up, but I thought this one in particular was probably the worst part here, Manu.
Yes.
Zaha, he needs to be coming towards the ball.
Of course, he needs to show more character on the ball, you know, try to protect the ball because they're under pressure. We can see, you know, the perfect pressing from the Gunners. And then all of a sudden, he doesn't come back, you know, to help his teammates. But he's not the only responsible on this action.
Talk to me about the left-back here, Mitchell.
Wrong position. He should have been inside instead of outside.
Forcing the ball wide, away from danger. Yeah. And he lets that ball go inside, Manish, for an easy enough cross in the end for Saka. And, well, let's just admire the finish one more time. Right foot, and bang.
Perfect touches, you know.
Yeah.
The first one, the control is perfect, but then he's so powerful on his feet. And he made the difference by his run, and he crossed the ball, and he did it perfectly.
It's his 13th goal of the season. I remember not that long ago, you had a few words to say about Arteta and his use of Martinelli.
Yes.
But he's getting the most out of the Brazilian right now.
As a striker, you know that. You need to score goals or give assists. This is the most important. You've been judged on this, you know. And this is probably what was missing at the beginning because he's a young player. It's not easy, you know, to start in a big club like Arsenal. And step by steps, you know, we kept confident from his partners and the manager. And now he's developing himself such as a great left winger.
You a big fan of his?
Yes,
love him.
Totally.
I was also talking to Mike.
Yeah, I really do. His pace. I think the wide players for Arsenal are a huge asset to this team. They play high, they play wide. We spoke about it before the game. It's a little bit like Pep Guardiola. I'm sure Mikel Arteta has learned a thing or two from him, and we'll see on some of the other goals that the way they utilise those wide players.
Yeah. Arsenal's second came from Bukayo Saka. He reached a milestone in this game. We'll come to that in a second. But it's the way he took it after really impressive, patient build-up from Arsenal.
Yes, again, yeah. Again, yeah.
Yeah, it was impressive. It was patient. We've grown used to Arsenal being patient in front of goal, I think. They're not a team that have lots of shots from 30 yards out. They tend to like to build up the play. Again, Crystal Palace will be kicking themselves in terms of being able to prevent the goal. And again, we'll have a look at it in a little bit more detail here. And as you say, Manish, the build-up is patient, it's good. But then all of a sudden they inject that bit of pace, Manu.
Yeah, well, I said it before, you know. I love the way they play in small spaces, you know. It doesn't matter how many opponents you have in the penalty area, you know. They control the game, good rhythm, good movements, and technically as well, it's perfect. So it's quite very difficult, you know, to defend against that kind of players.
This is the person at fault, you feel?
He's not the only one. Again, I don't want to blame him for the results, but he was bad. Look at that. He's not concerned anymore about... but you are a striker, so you know what I mean. You're not concerned about defending, so you can see that on this action.
No. I'm quite impressed that he got in that position. I wouldn't have been in that position in the first place.
There is no competition as well in the central because there were so many Crystal Palace players and no one was reading the action, sitting, you know, in the middle.
Yeah. By the way, one thing about Saka, his partnership with Ben White today was particularly impressive.
Yeah, it was very good. That combination play on that right-hand side, Ben White and Saka, is a very important one for Arsenal. White gets forward, links play a lot of the time with him. He's got the pace as well to get back. And there was a lovely incident as well later on in the game when he put a tackle in, and all of a sudden he was celebrating that as well. So I feel as he's a bit of an underrated player at the moment for Arsenal.
Yeah, and Manu, the first Premier League player, Bukayo Saka, to reach double figures in goals and assists this season.
He's still improving, this guy. He shows so much character, especially after the... I think, was it after the European tournament or the World Cup where he received so much criticism? And he's so young, again, and he's acting like a mature, experienced guy, you know. And he scored how many goals, how many assists again this season. So I don't see any barriers, you know, anything that can stop him, you know, being one of the most prolific and wonderful players, you know, in the world.
Yeah. Welcome back. Half-time at the Emirates. League leaders Arsenal, leading managerless Crystal Palace by 2 goals to nil. It was a slow start comparatively from the Gunners, but then they found their rhythm, and Gabriel Martinelli got them up and running, Manu.
Yeah, great finish from him. Again, it was decisive, you know. Good movement, good passing, you know. What a poor defending from Zaha. And on top of it, he's not concerned about fighting back the ball with Ben White. And then a good cross from Saka, and what a great finish. You know, the first touch is perfect because he puts the ball in the movement, you know, and he only has to shoot afterwards, and the angle was perfect. When I look at Zaha, when you lose a manager 2 days ago, you have to show great character and great spirit. You know, you have to fight. You are in a danger zone, actually. So he's not concerned about, you know, getting back, you know, helping his teammates. So I'm very disappointed with the lack of involvement in this action.
Yeah, I think Mitchell should be showing him inside as well. We just highlighted him there. He possibly should have been showing him outside. It gives an easy cross, really, into the middle of the park. But it was 2 touches, but almost in quick succession, wasn't it? 1 and then 2, and he's off, and he's got such pace. This is a great goal. I think that's such a good finish.
So powerful, you know, on his feet.
Yeah, I like this lad.
His 13th goal of the season. It's the perfect response as well after the disappointment of missing the penalty midweek.
Yeah, and that's, I suppose, one way to bounce back. I mean, I thought Arsenal, Could have gone either way, actually. The first goal could have gone either way for the first 20 minutes or so. But now, Crystal Palace will be relieved to hear that half-time whistle. Arsenal were building and building and building. And if it had continued, it would have been 3 or 4. They've got a little bit of time now to just sort themselves out.
Yeah, Michael, as for Arsenal's second, was patience key behind it?
It was, yeah. And this is when they're probing at their best. We've got lots of bodies involved. They win the ball, they lose the ball, they recycle it. They go from one side to another. But they're a very patient team, Arsenal. And as I say, you know, they've got so many different ways of scoring goals. But this is a typical Arsenal goal in my book, always trying to find a wide pass. I mean, you mentioned Wilf Zaha for the first goal.
Again.
He doesn't track back again, does he, here with Zaha?
He's not concerned anymore, you know. He has to fight, you know. Look at the movement he made. He came back and then he's not focused on Saka movement, you know. He came inside the box. He should have been more aggressive, you know, on Saka.
But the way Saka retrieved that loose ball, if you're Paddy McCarthy, that's far too easy, is it not, to get in behind once again?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you've got one player that's got loads of desire and another player that hasn't. But this is quite typical of attacking players. I mean, we'll see a clip of probably Crystal Palace's best moment of the first half, and that's when they do try. And hey, who am I to have a go? So I would have probably done the same, so I'll leave it to you.
And things could have been so different had this gone in. This was the good side of Wilf Zaha, and this was with what, just 10 minutes on the clock, Manu?
Yes. They started very well, I think, Crystal Palace. They had a great opportunity to score the first goal. He was so lucky on Ramsdale, you know, that didn't touch his Achilles, you know. Should have bounced back to his own goal, you know. But after a sloppy start, Arsenal, you know, take control of the ball and the rhythm. And I love the way they play in a small space, you know, especially the last 30 years in the opponent half. And I really appreciate that. But this one, he touched, you know, you can see Ramsdale, he touched it, you know, with his finger.
He gets lucky, doesn't he, with where it bounces off, as Manu says. But he's not lucky in the first instance. That ball is sneaking in. It's only on the replay. He gets a tiny little
This is the luck of the winner.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're making their own luck right now. But, you know, a bit like against Brighton, Palace had the early chances, but they just couldn't take them.
Well, you have to score when you're in the ascendancy. You have to score when you get the odd chance against the best teams, because we've seen what happens when you don't. If you don't score early, if you don't score when you get the opportunity, you're punished. And now, I can't see them getting back in it. Arsenal are absolutely flying towards the end of that first half. And if they continue the second half as they left off the first half, then this could be 3 or 4 or 5 even.
Yeah. So it's Arsenal in pole position then at the Emirates Stadium, and as things stand, going 8 points clear with Arsenal and Michael Owen. Great to see the two of you. Michael, how things have changed for both these clubs since the last time they played. You've got Arsenal out of Europe and Palace without a manager.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, Arsenal, I don't think they'll be overly disappointed. The Premier League is what they want to win this season. Of course, that would have been a bonus if they could pick up any trophy along the way, but progress this season has been unbelievable. They are well and truly back amongst the elite of the English Premier League now. But with such a good season under their belt already, they've got to go and finish it off. And today is a huge game for them, because we all know they've still got to play Manchester City.
Absolutely.
And they need to keep them at arm's length, let's say, until they play them.
Yeah. Manu, why are you smiling, Manu? This is a tough test for Arsenal, really.
Of course, it's a very important game. I think they need a reaction after, you know, losing against Sporting in European Cup.
Yeah.
I know that I agree with you that big games coming soon against Manchester City, against Newcastle as well. But I'm very confident, and I think they can achieve, you know, their dream to win the Premier League this season. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the Arsenal lineup, shall we? We've just touched upon it just a moment ago, but just to confirm for you that single change that Mikel Arteta has made to the side that blew away Fulham, particularly in that first half last week. So William Saliba hasn't recovered from that back injury he sustained against Sporting Lisbon in midweek. So Rob Holding makes his first league start of the season. And interestingly, it's the same front three as against Fulham, which means that Gabriel Jesus is on the bench. No Jesus after 45 minutes in midweek, Michael?
Yes, but Trossard has been doing very well in his absence. Yeah. So I think he's going to wait a little bit longer. Don't get me wrong, in 3, 4, 5 games, I think that you'll see Jesus in the team. But at the moment, Trossard's doing particularly well. It's a strong attack, that is, for Arsenal. 1 or 2 players missing, as you say. Of course, Saliba is a big miss. But that's a strong team, and that's a team that's pretty much been together all season. They haven't had too many injuries. Jesus has been a big one, and he's been out for a while. But apart from that, they've managed to keep most players fit this season, which has been a real, consistent part of their form.
I agree. I'm not really confident with Rob Holding. I'm not a big fan of him, to be honest. But
why?
Because I think he's too soft as a defender. And that still doesn't get the maturity, to fit in Arteta plans. And it's such a shame to see Tomiyasu as well being injured, because I would have preferred to play with Benjamin White as a central defender today.
Yeah. You look at Gabriel, Zinchenko, Xhaka, Martinelli. Those are players that played 120 minutes in midweek. I mean, I suppose this is where Mikel Arteta has to be brave with his selections, right?
Yes, that's not ideal.
No.
And if you're going to play the 120 minutes, you probably want to go through and make it worthwhile. To get knocked out and have the minutes in the legs that the players have had is not an ideal situation. 1-2 injuries as well come from that game. So a disappointing night, really. But as I say, this is the Premier League. Now, that's their focus. And I'm sure, when there's a league title in touching distance now, I'm sure that they can get another good 90 minutes out of them for today.
Yeah. And do you see that Lisbon defeat as being a blessing in disguise?
This is not their top priority. The priority is the Premier League. But yes, of course, losing that game, especially the poor second half, and losing on the penalty is not really easy to accept. But I think playing 2 hours, in midweek like this could be, difficult to handle against Crystal Palace today, because I think Crystal Palace need a reaction. They will need to fight for every ball, need to get at least a point. So it won't be an easy game,
Yeah. And of course, Arsenal looking to go 8 points clear, as we mentioned at the summit, with the victory, particularly with Manchester City not playing this weekend. They've got to take advantage.
Of course.
Because with an 8-point lead, going into those set of fixtures, Manu, what's your reading of that then? Is this a good time for them to have that significant
Definitely
advantage?
need to win. It's a must-win game today for them. I think if they can achieve to get 8 points gap, after that game, that would be a big pressure on Manchester City. Don't forget that after the international break, Manchester City is gonna have to play again Liverpool straight. So I think it won't be an easy game for them as well. So definitely they have to increase the gap with Manchester City.
Yeah. How significant would it be to be 8 points clear at this stage?
It's a big number, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
They will have played one more game than Manchester City. And we know the fixture list. We know that both teams have got to play difficult games still. Both teams have still got to play Liverpool. They've got to play against each other, as we've already mentioned. So there's lots of twists and turns still to go in this title race. But 8 points, with what? It'll be 10 games to go after today's game. That's a decent amount of points.
Yes.
Stadium. I'm Derek Ray, and joining me for commentary is Lee Dixon. And looking forward to bringing you action from the Premier League coming right up. It's Arsenal up against Crystal Palace.
Yeah, thanks, Derek. I always get a buzz from being here. The players will feel the same, I'm sure. Fast start, always a good idea to impose yourself on the game straight from the off.
Martinelli. It's with Ødegaard. It's a good-looking ball in behind. Well, Martin Ødegaard. Gabriel Martinelli. Too much pace on that particular pass. Kouyaté. Are really pressing their opponents. Arsenal pushing forward with options available. Top-class defending. Jairo Riedewald. Luka Milivojevic. Eze. The ball back with Arsenal now. Opportunity it is. Will he? And the goal from Lacazette.
Well, here's the replay, and as we see, it's a class ball through to split the defence. And sometimes, with all the time in the world, you can fluff your lines, but he composes himself and slips it past the keeper beautifully. Well, all the hard work has paid off, but the manager knows a lot more has to be done to secure this game.
1-0 then. And doing the manoeuvring is Lacazette. Alert defending. And he read it well defensively. And he did what he had to do defensively. Slipshod passing.